Mom is wedged between the golden haired dogs on the couch and is petting them affectionately while whispering softly. The skittish one is curled up with her head resting on Mom's lap. She appears content and at ease, lulled into a meditative state by the soothing caresses. I absolutely understand that feeling, as one of my favorite pastimes is lounging on Mom's lap while she showers me with love and affection. This whole situation irritates me. The shaggy dog with the bad leg is standing beside Mom and occasionally licks her arm. She looks longingly at Mom's lap, but there isn't enough room for her to crawl onto it. The dogs are far too large and ungainly to be held by the way Mom cradles me. As I watch this touching scene, I begin to feel unsettled. The beasts are monopolizing Mom's time and copying my signature moves to solicit attention. I can't permit this behavior to continue and must put a stop to it at once. I'm the only one who should be allowed on Mom's lap, and the dogs have no right to occupy that exclusive spot without my permission. I'm not jealous, I'm just possessive. Mom pauses to check her phone, and the skittish dog paws at her until she resumes scratching her back. The beast calms down, and her peaceful expression returns. Now I'm concerned that Mom is being forced to pet them at the risk of being relentlessly pawed at or worse. This will not be tolerated in my home. I formulate a plan while pacing back and forth, the tension increasing with every passing second. I need to gain Mom's attention first, so I hop up onto the low table in front of the couch, where she can't possibly ignore me. She smiles at my approach and says something warmly. This is a good sign, and now I just need to lead her to safety. I move to the front of the table and give the beast a skeptical look. Mom extends her hand, and I rub warmly against her, delighted to be the center of attention. She scratches the itchy spots behind my ears, and I begin to purr involuntarily. Mom knows exactly how I like my massages. She then pauses and resumes petting the beast. This annoys me, and I walk from one side of the table to the other. She doesn't look at me, so I let out a soft meow that forces her to refocus on me. I hold her gaze, my eyes wide and my head tilted slightly for maximum cuteness. It's time to employ my superpowers to persuade her to do as I say. She reaches out and rubs my cheeks and chin once more. I close my eyes, raise my head, and sink into her embrace. The sound of the dog's collars jingling jolts me from my stupor, and I open my eyes, excuse me, to find the shaggy one staring at me. She's a bit too close for comfort, and I consider giving her a little swat on the nose to regain some personal space. However, she seems satisfied with simply observing and making no move to further encroach or to lick me, which would be a disgusting breach of my rules. If she ever licks me, it will do irreparable harm to our relationship. I don't know how I could forgive her for that kind of uninvited intimacy. The skittish one is pawing at Mom again, who obliges her request for a belly rub. The dog rolls onto her back and all four legs awkwardly sticking up in the air. This is something I would never do because I'm aware of the dangers of exposing my delicate underbelly. I consider pouncing on her in their vulnerable position, but our size disparity makes me hesitate. I may be faster and smarter, but the dogs are considerably stronger, and I don't want to take my chances in a physical altercation. I make an effort to conceal my irritation at having to compete for Mom's attention and stare out the window to collect my thoughts before making any rash moves. I have an understanding with the dogs. They are learning to obey my wishes. They've been responding reasonably well to consistent training, and perhaps this is just another situation that needs to be addressed in my next lesson plan. They must be reminded that I was here first, and I have dibs on Mom's time and attention. The dogs are only allowed to spend this kind of quality time with her if I'm otherwise occupied. We'll start working on this at their next session. In the interim, I will have to schedule a time to speak with Miss Fish to vent my frustration. She's a great listener who never questions my opinions and is always sympathetic to my challenges. She doesn't say much, but we're close and I understand what she's thinking. I return my attention to the disturbing situation at hand. The shaggy dog with the limp is once again completely focused on Mom and is happily leaning against her leg while Mom rubs her back. My fur bristles and my annoyance grows with every second that I'm not the center of attention. I'm drawn to the dog's long golden tail, which is wagging vigorously back and forth. The movement reminds me of something, and I can't take my eyes off of it. It swings wildly, bumping repeatedly onto the side of the table, nearly sweeping all the items resting atop it to the ground. I crouch down into pounce position and take a step toward the beast. She has her back to me and seems unaware of her surroundings. The predator in me awakens and instinct takes hold. A primal feeling washes over me, and I'm captivated by the thrill of the hunt. I advance, keeping my belly pressed against the table as I creep silently toward the dog. When I reach the edge, I pause and stare intently at her tail sways back and forth, mocking me. I raise my front paw and wait for the perfect moment, waiting to time the trajectory. Seizing the opportunity, I lash out and swat her tail as it arcs toward me. She looks over her shoulder in surprise, but the blow seems to have done little. Her tail continues to wag as though nothing had happened. I view this as an invitation and prepare to take another swing. For a moment, I just watch, swaying with the rhythm. On the second pass, I strike, connecting solidly with my target. A few pieces of fur become caught in my claws, and I'm left staring at the long strands dangling from my paw. When the dog turns to face me, I realize it's time to retreat and regroup. I trot to the other side of the room and bound onto my climbing tower before she can retaliate. I'm now firmly in my territory, and she wouldn't dare follow me over here. Moments later, Mom comes looking for me, possibly concerned that I was feeling excluded and neglected, which I was. She approaches, rests her hand on my cheek, and plants a tender kiss on top of my head. I softly purr as my heart soars, feeling immensely satisfied and proud of myself. She gently rubs my back, finally giving me her full attention. I close my eyes as the soothing touch lulls me into a meditative state. The purring grows louder, and I drop my head into my paws as I drift off into an afternoon nap. While I may have to remind the beast who the favorite is around here, I'll always be Mom's special boy. She loves me unconditionally and knows